There are many features on chess.com designed to help you improve your chess. In this video, I'll run through 7 of the most useful features which you can use to maximize your chess improvement. The first feature is Insights. To access this, head over to the dumbbell icon on the left and click Insights. Now on this page, you'll be presented with a range of interesting and useful information related to many different aspects of your play. You can choose the time control you'd like to focus on. I'll go for rapid games, and you can also choose the date range. So let's take a look at the last year. Now right at the top, you can see a summary of your results over that time period, and also when you played the games. You can see that for me, I had a spike in December of last year, right around the holiday season. Scrolling down, there's a lot on this page, but I'll just draw out a couple of the highlights. First of all is this section right here, results by game shape. Now there are different styles of chess games. There are those which are smooth from start to finish, and then there are those which are much more back and forth. And you might have a sense that you do better in certain types of games than in others, but until you have the data, you can never really be sure. Well, here you have the data. I can see, for example, that I do much better in smooth games than I do in wild games. And I can use that insight to adjust my training. Like in my case, maybe I need to do more training in wild, critical, imbalanced positions in order to address this weakness. If I scroll down a bit further, I'll show you another one of the parts of this page which I like looking at from time to time, which is performance in different openings. So again, you might have a sense that you do better in certain openings than in others, but until you have the numbers, you don't know for sure. I can see here that I do quite well in the Sicilian defense with white. I do quite well in the Scotch game with white. Actually, I'm doing well in all of the most common openings, but I'm doing less well in the more uncommon openings. So the Scandinavian, Aljakin's defense, even though these are objectively not as strong, my results are not as good, maybe because I see them less often. And once again, I can use that insight to adjust my training accordingly, do a bit more focus on those less common openings. Up the top here, you can also see your performance with the black pieces. So take a look at the Insights page. I think it'll reveal many different insights around your play that you can use to work on your game. If you're enjoying the video so far, then click subscribe for more. There's plenty more great chess content coming up in the pipeline from me. Now on to our second feature, which is the Opening Explorer. This one's a little hard to find, but let me show you where it is. Hover over the dumbbell icon and click Analysis. And then once you're on the analysis page, click Explore. It might be worth bookmarking this one because it's one of the most useful features, particularly for advanced chess players working on their opening repertoire. Now this is in part a premium feature. You're not going to see as much here if you're on one of chess.com's free plans, but I think this by itself is worth the money because it's extremely powerful to look through based on a number of different filters, openings played by yourself, played by master level players, played by certain users. Let me show you how. So this filter here is where you want to click because this is going to allow you to choose either your own games, so you can see your results in different positions, or master level games, other players, like maybe you've got a friend whom you're trying to defeat and you want to look at what they play and prepare for them. Or you can also look at all chess.com games. This is actually a recent feature that they've just added. It allows you to look at games played by other players your own level. So rather than just look at master level games, where sometimes the moves which are played are different than those at lower levels, you can look at those lower levels, if that's where you are, and see what's most commonly played at your level. So let's say you're around 1500. Well, choose the range between 1400 and 1600. You could choose just rapid games. You could choose a date range if you want, and then click Filter Results, and you'll see it's going to pull up all the millions and millions of games played on chess.com and show you what is most commonly played in the positions, starting from the starting position. You'll see these adapt as I run through the moves. So let's just play a Ruy Lopez here. And as we get a little into the game, you'll see down here what the most common moves are from black and what the results are as well. So it's saying that if black plays knight to f6, then the results favour white by a margin of 54% to 42%, with a percentage of draws in there as well. So by seeing what the most common moves are in any given position, you can prepare for them. You can look for novelties. You can look for what your opponent might play in an upcoming tournament. Really useful stuff. The third feature is the lesson library. Now again, this is mostly a premium feature. You don't get as much access to it if you're on the free membership, but let me show it to you and then you can decide for yourself whether you'd like to upgrade. You access it by hovering over the university cap icon and clicking on Lessons, and then click on Lesson Library. And once you're here, you're going to discover an absolute treasure trove of recorded videos, exercises, on all aspects of the game for all different levels. You could spend weeks, months, years going through all the content here. And many premium members don't even know about this. But there's some really good stuff here. Let me give you a sample of what's on offer. So first of all, you can choose which aspect of the game you'd like to look at. Let's say end games. And then using these filters, you can choose what level you're at. Let's say intermediate. And sort it by release date alphabetically, choose which instructor, have a play around with it. But there's so much here. Just a couple of my favorite courses. One of them is this in-game course from Anna Rudolph. If you're an intermediate level player looking to improve your game, this is a great place to start. Also, some of the opening courses are just fantastic. There was one by Alexander Delchev where I learnt the Scotch opening using just this video course. Incredibly detailed. If I click onto it, you can see the level of work that's been put in here. Like almost 2 hours of recorded videos, organized into different chapters, and each one of the lessons has got exercises at the end to reinforce your understanding. So jump into the lesson library. I think you'll find something for you. The fourth feature is game collections. This is a really powerful way to save your analysis so that you can refer to it later and even share it with others. Let me show you how. So head over to the dumbbell icon again, click Analysis, and this time, once you land on the page, click Game Collections. Now you'll see here that I've already got many game collections set up. A lot of them are to do with certain openings. I've saved master level games here which contain ideas in the opening or early middle game, which I thought were worth saving so that I can use them in my own play. Other folders are collections of games, like I've got my Logical Chess Move by Move folder here, and I've also got collections of games played by my students. And this is a good moment to remind you that I do work with a small number of dedicated chess improvers to boost their results in chess. If you'd like to explore working with me, then click the link in the description below. We can set up a time to chat, tell you all about the Road to 2000 Chess Improvement Program, and get you the types of results in chess that you didn't think were possible. Now, one of the things that I do with my students is I get them to set up a shared game collection so that they can send me their games along with their analysis. To do this, click New, give it a name, and you want to set it up so that it is a private collection but shared with your coach or whoever you want to see them. So if my students were setting this up for me, they would add my username into this participant box, and then I'd be able to see everything that they have entered. And just let me show you an example of that. I'll just grab a game played by one of my students here, and I can see not only his game, but also the analysis that he's put on the game. If he added sidelines or he had annotations, it's all useful stuff as a coach for me to see the way that my student was thinking and then make adjustments if I need to. But yeah, the folders of analysis are really great for organizing the notes that you've made on different games, and that way you can refer back to them anytime you want. The fifth feature is Puzzle Rush. Now, there are divided opinions over the value of Puzzle Rush. Some love it, others hate it. Personally, I'm a fan. I think it can help a lot with seeing the more basic tactical patterns automatically. So let me show you where it is and how it works. Hover over the puzzle icon on the left and click Puzzle Rush. What's going to happen when you click play is a timer is going to begin, and you're going to have to solve as many puzzles as you can before the timer runs out. Also, if you get 3 of the puzzles wrong, then the clock will stop immediately and it's game over. And the aim is to beat your high score. Let me just show you. Because the puzzles start very easy, but they become increasingly difficult over time. So here, that's a free rook. This one here is checkmate in 1. This is also checkmate in 1. And as I mentioned, it will get more difficult as you go on. But if you're having trouble with performance under time pressure, this is a great way to work on that. Also, if you're newer to the game and you just need to learn about the more basic patterns before you train any more difficult calculation exercises, then Puzzle Rush is a great place to start. It's also a lot of fun. You know, not all chess training needs to be serious. So check out Puzzle Rush. I think it can improve your results, particularly in the faster time controls. The 6th feature is the forum. Let me show you where it is first. Hover over the people icon and then click Forums. And once you're here, you'll see there's a huge number of topics devoted to every aspect of chess you could possibly think of. There's millions of people in the chess.com community, and if you post a thoughtful question, you'll very often get a thoughtful reply. You may also get some not so thoughtful replies, but that's just the nature of the internet. You've got to take the good with the bad. To show you what I mean, I'd like to take an example of a question that I posed. So I'd recently had a poor over-the-board classical tournament where I'd collapsed several times under time pressure, and I was wondering what could be done to work on this aspect of my game. So I posted a question in the forum, and I got this reply from a national master who gave some very useful tips. Resist the urge to simplify. Keep pieces protected. Repeat a position 2 times if you are playing on increment. And, you know, this guy just jumped into my question and provided an answer without expecting anything in return. So give this a try. If you've got a question related to chess, go ahead and post it on the forum, and you might be surprised at some of the detailed answers that you get. Finally, we've got Chess.com's famous game review feature. Now, many chess coaches, myself included, believe that it's best to do your post-game analysis without the help of the engine at first. But that's in an ideal world. If you're short on time, Chess.com's game review feature is a lot better than nothing. You want to draw some lessons from every game that you play. Now, to do that, it couldn't be easier to find. It's the big green game review button, which appears at the end of every game. So click that, and it'll start crunching the numbers. Right off the bat, you get a graphical representation of how the game progressed. So you can see in visual form how the momentum switched from white to black or vice versa. You can see in this game, for example, that I had a decent advantage through much of the middle game, but then made some mistakes and went on to lose. It's also showing the key points of the game. So the orange dots represent mistakes, red dots represent blunders, as in more serious mistakes, and blue dots represent great moves. And just by clicking on any of them, you can jump right to that point in the game, and you'll get an explanation from the coach here as to why that move was a blunder. And you can also click the explain button to show the problem with the move that you just played. You can also test yourself by trying to guess what the best move should be. So it's very powerful. You can just cycle through the entire game, go to the key moments, and look at what you could have done better. This art of analysis really is one of the keys to improving at chess, and Game Review makes it very easy to do so. Now that you've learned about these powerful tools on chess.com, you also need the right mindset for chess improvement. Check out this video next, where I share 5 mindset shifts which you can make right now, which will help bring your way of thinking about the game closer to that of a 2000 rated player.